But I mean, if the worst happens, can directors and officers simply resign and say, not my problem, just walk away and escape any kind of liability for insolvency?
Well, this is the don't get out of bed sort of response, isn't it? Or pull the duvet over, because that's the way out of it. Sadly, and it won't surprise you, I guess, to hear that it's not as simple as that in practice. In the UK, if the company is insolvent, the only way out for the director is to demonstrate that they've taken every single step they could have taken to minimise the losses for the creditors. And the duvet option doesn't really achieve that. Resignation doesn't get you off the liability threshold. But it's not quite as simple as that. Let's say that the director was absolutely convinced the company was insolvent. He tabled a board resolution, but the other directors were completely against him. They had their expectations way off beam. Then I think it would be reasonable for the director, if that resolution failed, to say, well, look, guys, you're on your own now. But say it was less straightforward than that. There was just a question about a major customer, whether we're going to pay his debt to the company or not. One director took a different view from the other directors. Would the different view be enough to justify a resignation? I don't think so, because is he taking every single step? Maybe more he could do to try and get that debt in. So resignation isn't really an option, I think, in many situations. In Canada, just a quick postscript, position's even worse, because there they have joint and several liability for directors, and the insolvency courts won't allow the last director to resign. They want to keep one there, really as a sort of liability hold-all, if you like, not least because the limitation clock doesn't start to run until the last director has retired.
Okay, we've got some...
one follow-up question. So perhaps, I think we may have briefly discussed this. If a director is recommending a course of action that is different than what the rest of the board agrees with, and ultimately, as a result of not following that recommendation, it has a direct effect on insolvency with the company, for instance. Is that strengthen the defensive position of that director? And how could they best record those actions and steps that they attempted to take?
Very much it does strengthen that director's position. If he's absolutely sure on good evidence that this company is bust, it should be going to the courts, the bankruptcy courts, tables a resolution, then he's got very good protection. He may well be able to satisfy a court. He's taken every step. If the other guys are not with him, then that's a different matter. That's a different matter for them, but he should still be all right in that situation. It's always going to be a test of, has he done everything? So I suppose in your scenario, Mario, the question would be, is his evidence strong enough?